You're listening to the Welcome to the Rebellion podcast. Hey, Jay, are you ready? Because it's time to start the show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Welcome to the Rebellion podcast. And you guys have been asking for him, and he finally chiseled out a little bit of time for us here on the podcast, and I appreciate Eric July. We're just going to get right into it. His time is precious. Your time is precious, and we're not going to wait. Welcome, Eric July. Again, he's been on the channel before, but man, times have changed since the last time you've seen this place. Times have changed. The last time I think I spoke with you here, we were just talking about the crumble of mainstream comics. And if you don't know who Eric July is, if you're listening for some strange reason, you've been living under a rock. He is the creator of the Rippaverse comics. He just launched his campaign, and he is now at 3.5 million and growing, with a goal of 100,000. 100,000. So that's a little. You kind of missed your mark, man. Like, do better, okay, man. Do better. Like, you gotta. You kind of missed your mark there.
I know.
Now, if it had stopped at 100,000, you still rocking and rolling, right? Like, that's.
Oh yeah, like that was
the goal that it needed to be hit, right?
Yeah, it would have still went on. I had invested all that money. It just would have obviously changed kind of the trajectory of the company. Well, not changed that. Let's say that what the company was going to do was going to be based upon obviously this first campaign. So with it just exceeding the expectations, it put us in a nice little position.
Yeah, but now you got to autograph like 800 million comic book, and I'm one of them. I was just like, when I ordered, I was like, no, I got to get the autograph because this is history in the making. You never know where this is going to go. All bar graphs look like they're going in the correct position, which is up. And so I was like, I'm getting the autograph one. And then I'm like, I've been bumping India like everywhere all the time. I should have just waited.
That's true. That's very true.
Be like, hey, buddy, can you do me a solid and sign your book? But no, it was an honor to support. That's what this whole rebellion movement is. This podcast is. We have people on that have said, I'm sick of it. I'm going to do it myself. And here's what we're doing from artists and from all walks of life. So just to jump right in, like, when was it? When was it when you were like, hey, honey, I want to start a comic book? Did that happen? Or did you get to this point of like, I'm just so sick of it? It's like now, or was this just something?
Well, let's say this. It was a combination of a few different things. I will say that I always had aspirations to have my name attached to some sort of comic book venture. Like, that's something I think anybody, for long-time customers, whatever, if you art based, whatever it is, you have the aspirations to maybe do that. And in often cases, it's a pipe dream. I mean, I can remember maybe dreaming of being, writing for Marvel, writing for DC, or doing some work like that. And I thought that whatever that venture was going to be, it was going to be something that I really couldn't do until I was like older. You know what I mean? Like well into my 40s or something like that. And it didn't happen. It was one of those things that the timeline moved forward, and when you look at the state of the industry right now, it was very easy for me to say this is a good time to do it, right? Like, it was like, I can do it now. I have the funding to do it and do it the right way, and I'm going to do it this way, and regardless of how it ends up, I can at least say I gave it a shot and I did it on my own accord. So if it fails or succeeds, I can at least say, okay, that was on me. But it was perfect timing. I mean, a lot of people it's thriving industry still, and a lot of people are thirsty for this content. So what we did was just say, okay, let's do it. Let's just give it a shot. And I expected to see success, but I didn't expect it to be like this. Obviously, there was no way I could have predicted that it would have been $3 million.
I don't think any of us did, honestly.
Yeah, like even
when
the people
crossed
that
$1 million, we were like,
good.
He did good, man. $1 million. Then it was like, well, we close to 2 million. We're like, wow. And then it's like, well, we close to 3 million. We're like, get the freak out of
Yeah.
here. And then it's like 3.5 and climbing. We're like, all right, all
Yeah.
right, all right. I see. We see what you did there. But still, you had to have a vision or like, but because all right, I'm gonna bring it back because there was a time where you stepped out and said, I'm gonna work for myself. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna work for anyone else. Like, was that like because that's the start of the process, I think.
Right. Right. Yeah. I took that leap.
It was that
Uh,
or just like,
yeah, I took that leap. And going into like the mid, say 2010s ish, where I started, backwards my band, you know what I mean? And then we kind of moved into I was growing as a commentator, I was doing this for a decade before, but really growing as a commentator, when I remember that first Fox News video, like interview that I did with Tucker Carlson, like way back in the gap, like way back. Well, he was still on Fox and Friends. He didn't even have his own show.
yeah,
And I remember doing that. We were talking about minimum wage and stuff, and that was kind of my first time doing stuff to that degree, like to a more national audience. And obviously when Dana Loesch was at the Blaze and going on there, and that was kind of with that being local to me, building that relationship, and obviously that kind of came full circle with what I do right now with them. But that was a while back. So there was always a leap that had to get took. And, going in the latter half of the 2010s, when I really started to cut off all of my, like, working for other people, you know what I mean? Like, that just didn't happen. It was everything that I did was in collaboration. So, when I do stuff with Blaze, it's more of it's a collaboration. It's when I do, Tuesday night's main event or whatever,
yeah.
it's a collaboration. It's like I always wanted to, that's liberating because it's like you do what you want. So I appear when I want, when I feel like it, or when the opening's there, I can do that. It's not like I have to sit up here and depend on someone else for like to move my world. And Rippaverse is just another example of that. And it just happened to be my most successful one. So it can be nerve-wracking for people to take those leaps where you're like, all right, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to work for myself. Because I think a lot of people may not be prepared for the actual work that kind of goes into that stuff. Because,
People think
you
it's
work.
easier, man, but it's
Yeah,
like
it's crazy that there
it's
are a lot of people under the assumption that doing that type of stuff is easier. And it's like, it couldn't be anything further from the truth. Despite me starting a multi-million-dollar company, I've never worked harder than I ever have in my life.
it goes from 9 to 5 to 24 hours.
Yeah, that's basically how it goes, right?
And he's just like, wow, like I remember being a school teacher, and then I wanted to make the leap into teaching online, but I could create my own schedule.
Mm.
So it was like, and then focus on some of the other things that I was trying to do. And it was like, well, here we go. And it's like, it's actually kind of, at least for me, I don't know how it was for you. It, it was a very motivating factor. It's like, basically, if you don't work, you don't eat,
That's how it
man.
goes.
So it's like, you just can't be like, hey, I could just do whatever I want. And and be like, I don't gotta wake up early. It's like I'm waking up earlier
Yep.
and staying up later
Mm-hmm.
just to put some stuff together. It's a wild time, man. It's a
Yeah.
wild
A
time.
lot of people are under that wrongful assumption that, you get a lot of money and means less work. And nah, man, definitely when you want to maintain ownership of whatever it is that you're doing, it can be in any industry, and you're going to be the boss. It's like the bottom line depends on you, all that sort of stuff like that. I've never worked harder than I have. And it's not anything that I can't handle, but I've never worked as hard as I have now, despite
Yeah,
me
but it's very
bringing in all that money.
motivating, man. You are inspiring. I mean, a lot of people, and I really hope a lot of the young people are watching too. Are watching too. It's just like putting away the noise and putting your nose down and like just not stopping. Like we just want to know, what are you eating for breakfast, and what kind of stuff are you putting in there to keep you going nonstop, to grind all day at the warehouse, to do your live stream for 3 hours, then cut videos, then show up on the Blaze, then you might do an interview here, then you're on a live stream, then at the end of the day you're playing video games, and then like we see pictures of you and your wife out doing wonderful things. We're just
Yeah.
like, what the heck? Are you sure you're not triplets? Like, is that what's going
Nah,
on here?
man, it's you know, I like to think of myself as a very efficient person. Like I don't have, believe it or not, a lot of downtime. And I have built a good habit to where I'm doing something, you know what I mean? Even when it feels like I'm not doing anything, I am actually working.
Yeah.
And that's like whether it be here, having my setup at the warehouse, and when I'm there, I'm working. Like I'm here, I'm working. Wherever I'm at, I'm working. And that's the only way to be able to juggle all of these different things it is that I'm doing and not feel like you're overwhelmed. Now, of course, I have a great team that we had to really ramp up with the Rippaverse stuff, and that certainly helps. Having a supporting wife as well helps. She's there with me at the warehouse when I'm there as well. But I brought on
Wait,
guys like,
your beautiful wife.
yeah, she's a
And
gorgeous
I'm not
woman.
saying that out of like, beautiful, just
Nah, she's a
just so
beautiful.
Twitter can hear.
Yeah, my beautiful wife. Yeah, she's awesome. But no, like she's having her, what I mean, like along for the ride is very helpful to have someone that you with every day, all day. That's very supportive of you. That certainly helps. And my team around me with Rippaverse stuff, bringing in like one of my closest friend groomsmen in my wedding, Brandon, to be my operations manager to help with the warehouse stuff, so I don't have to be there all the time. And the team developed with, on the back end with, all those guys, and we brought on my bandmate and all these, Rady and all these people that are with our team. They make it easy, but it's still nonstop work. We expanded to a degree that I wasn't anticipating. We've already outgrown that warehouse. So I'm already making the next step to trying to get like a 10,000 square foot like building for our headquarters, because we have to, that's where we're at now. You know what I mean? If we're going to handle our own fulfillment as well as doing everything else creatively, that's what we need. So now we're working towards that. And it's just what it is. So
Technically, you
it's
haven't even got started.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
That's the crazy thing. Like, this is the launch, bro. Like, it was a pre-order. The first books will start going out this month. And it's going to be off to the races from then. Like, this is just getting going. We are at the ground level of whatever it is that we build. There's a foundation that we got. I like to think we got that ready to rock, but we have a building really to build. I have a universe to build with this company, and there's a lot of work to be done. And if I'm going to have the catalog of my competitors, we got to put out content. So there's so much to do. There's not ever gonna not be work, and it's a challenge I'm willing to take. And the fact that the audience, of course, reassured me that this was a good decision to make, it puts me in a very good spot, like a great spot. Like when I mean that sincerely when I talk about like the audience changed my life, like my life trajectory. I was in a good spot, make no mistake, but I'm living out a dream here, and we're on the brink of something. Not on the brink, we already done something very special here. And in order to keep it going, we got to keep it going. But for us to have that support initially was huge, man. Like it was massive. So I'm very thankful for all of them. But like I said, it's one of those things, like we're just kind of just getting started, just getting going.
Real quick, let me just read some super chats here. Lucas for 20 says, that's what happens when you live a purpose-driven life, Jay. Eric is living his purpose. Oh, no doubt. And I'm going to get into a little bit more of that later on. Thank you for the 20. My man GJJ for 50. Jeez, July and Jay. Thank you, brother. Always been a supporter, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Green-haired anti-liberal for
She's awesome.
A $26 I don't say nothing.
Yeah, no, you can't. She's cocky.
Yeah,
she's the one. She's one of the ones that did that awesome Yaira cosplay.
Yes, I know. She's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
Dan Vass with a 50 says, two of my favorite people on the internet, the most successful businessman of the fellowship, together with the second most attractive man, on the fellowship. All right, fine. I'll take your money, Dan. Thank you. And my man Gabriel is going to be on the show probably next month. Says, hail, Eric. Hail 3PO. And thank you, Eric, for sticking with me so fiercely against Mark Brooks. It's a privilege to know you and work with you. Who is Gabriel? Who's Gabriel in your life?
Taib is the colorist of ISOM. We just got him signed up for ICE. He just signed his contract. He'll be working on ISOM 2 right now as well. Me and Cliff had already been working on it, so now he's going to go in. And big shout out to Gabe and
Yeah.
I know what he's referring to with Mark Brooks, idiot from Marvel Comics, of course, who's been disrespecting. And like I say, I take exception for him going out of my artist. He takes shots at myself, and I don't really appreciate that at all. But this is when you do what we do. This is to be expected.
Why is that? The backlash.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like it's a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving parts here. So I think the biggest one is the fact that a bunch of guys that they don't like with customers and supporters that they have been crapping on for the last years built their own sandbox, and it's immediately grown to a level that they can't control. They can't stop it because we didn't go through them. So all of that is what you're seeing, and why you're seeing this like range of emotions that they have, because they're having to come to that realization that, well, the guys that they had called all these names finally said screw it and went and did their own thing. And the people that they've been down talking, though people that have been dependent on them for entertainment, went somewhere else and then rallied behind them. So it's something they can't control, and something that is just far too massive for them to even do anything if they could. So it's like they're doing what they are expected to do. It's job security, and it's just irate at the fact that we did it, and they don't like it. Because realistically speaking, and I talked about this with the idiot that went at Gabe, and he's gone at me and when I'm an artist and stuff. Like, they can't do what we do, what we just did. Like, when you talk about detaching yourself from the mainstream guys, starting your own venture, handling it all yourself, from distribution to art to all the ownership is under my name. He can't do that. He knows that he can't do it. So they're protecting what feeds them, and that's the industry as it exists. So something that becomes a threat to that, they're going to react. And this is why we're getting such nasty comments, because they look at it like, well, is this going to be a threat to their model? And what happens on the other side of it if it looks different, if the industry looks different because it goes in this trajectory? Can they really truly eat off of it? So that's why a lot of them are mad. And it sucks, because you think they'd be supportive. We're doing something that's very artist friendly. Nobody's chasing me down for commissions. I'm making sure my folks get paid, and get paid well, competitively, and they do good jobs. And you think folks like that would be all over it. They'd be like all for it. This is something great. This benefits our industry. But nah, they do it. I guess they do what they do, and that's hate.
I also find it funny is that I don't think they expected you to clap back. So just like most people, they're like, hey, we're Marvel, we're DC, we're Screen Rant, we're whatever. They're not going to say nothing to us. He can't say nothing to me. Look at my position. Like, we're just going to tell him off and we win. And then here comes, Mr. July with the clap back and the comments and the videos and everything, just saying, yeah, anything else? No, we'll just block you and then talk about you behind a block wall.
Suckers. And I think, no, seriously, that's a part of it, because they have their own like establishment, their own way of doing things, right? And everybody's in that machine, be it the access media and stuff like you mentioned, as well as the creatives themselves, as well as the mega corporations. They all have their kind of machine. And what this is a bunch of guys that didn't go through them for any of it. For any of it, we didn't go through them, yet it saw the success that is comparable to what they do. At least in the comic book sense. So they're looking at it like, well, wait a minute, he didn't go through the proper channels. So we should be able, just because they would, if I worked for them and I went through their channels, they'd be able to end me by a push of a button, one article, bam, I'm out of here. They can't do that. There's nothing that they could do, because nothing went through them at all. So they're like, they're weirded out, I guess, by the fact that I get to say whatever the hell I want, and I'm going to say whatever I want. There's nothing that y'all can.
Who's gonna fire him?
Yeah, you can't.
Who's his boss? We gotta fire him.
Yeah. You can't come for the sponsorship. There's nothing that they could possibly do here, but take it. That's it. That's all they. And again, that's when the reality's starting to set in, and that's why they get so angry and aggravated.
So here's some of the complaints I've witnessed personally. Some of my favorites. Number one, you have a fake warehouse. You just stacked boxes on one side and took pictures with the right angles. We don't know what's in there. Another one, all those comic books have terrible creases on them. Like, how can you send out a product with terrible crease? I was like, what? Then people were talking bad about your wife, and
Yeah.
like I was like, well, that's a no.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you've really lost when you got to go to name calling. Like
Right.
that's when you definitely know you've lost, because they can't say anything else but say that. There's tons of racial slurs in there.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of those.
So
There you
like
go. Jesus Christ. Got
that
plenty of
that
those.
it just won't stop. My favorite one of all, though, is that you stole Isom from Superman 2. Uh,
Zod.
the old Superman 2, the Christopher Reeves version. You stole him from Zod, Nam. I
My
can't even remember the
God.
woman's name.
Oh.
But yeah, that was my favorite argument of all. I was like, they posted that picture and they're like, we see where you stole your idea. I was like, what the freak?
Oh
Who
man.
literally thinks that?
It's
Like,
it's bizarre, man, the amount of reaching. And it's a lot of flailing. And this is why some of their arguments or non-arguments sound so ridiculous. I mean, it's not just because they are, but they don't have much to run on.
yeah.
This has been a very transparent campaign, right? With our numbers being public and everything else, and us being very
Oh, everyone's challenging your numbers, man.
yeah, exactly. It's like, so because all that stuff exists, it's like they're finding something to try to get me on as a gotcha. And when the book comes out, they'll do that as well. They'll scroll through every single panel, be overly critical. It's just inevitable that they're going to do that because they don't want to accept that this is successful and that people are into it. So yeah, like even the way that we store, like, oh, his books are in a tote. It's like, okay, that are bagged and boarded.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem? Well, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to
Yeah.
do them. Like, I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what is? But these are very irrational people that are just finding something to try to cling to because they're watching their world again be destroyed in
Crumble.
real time. Everything that they said was false. It's definitely about who these characters are, like the newer characters, and people wouldn't support original characters, and all of that stuff got shattered. And they're mad because the people that they don't like are the ones having the fun here. So it's just gonna continue, right? The post, it used to be the books were never, it was never gonna come out. That used to be the original post, and now we're to, oh, he's stacking the books wrong. At first, they didn't exist. Now it's that he's putting them in totes. It's like they're gonna find book come out, it'll get shipped. There'll be largely no problems.
You're gonna be like, oh, they forgot to color this eye.
Yep, it'll be something.
They didn't put the dot on the eyes, everyone.
It'll be something simple. They're gonna comb through this with fine tooth. They're gonna comb through this and they're gonna find something to be mad at, and it's to be expected because they're not my customers, which is the awesome thing. Because I don't answer to them, so it's like they can sit up there and be angry and aggravated and try to find. Well, who cares?
That's also a new concept to them, is listening to the customers. I think,
yeah, that's true.
For me personally, I think the biggest fear that you are putting in the industry is that you are inspiring others to do the same thing. Many people know, and this isn't like a brag on me or anything, I have been working on a graphic novel book for 4 years, and just watching the hard work and the process, and I just kind of took my time with it, and it was like, nah, man, like stop being lazy, Jay. Like look what you, not only have you motivated others, but you motivated me, and now my book is done, and now I'm like going through the, like, people don't realize the headache, at least for me, it's like the headache of finding the right printer, making sure it's copyrighted correctly, making sure all that, like, just, all that other stuff. It costs money, It's like you just don't draw it up and say, hey, go buy this. But I think for them, if people see what you are doing, you will inspire others to attempt to do the same thing, and maybe spark other people to say, I've had a comic book within me. I've had a book idea. I've had a short story idea. I've had a script idea that I just been, I put it on the shelf, and I don't know if I can do anything with it. Here comes Eric July, who built a business on his own, decided he didn't want to pay anybody, built his own type of crowdfund. I guess that's what you'd call it. Or
I mean, that's just a pre-order. I just said, put it out
yeah,
there.
like
And
but you built that yourself.
yeah, I built the website myself. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
He
yeah.
took out, and his website that he built, like he's like, I'm not doing a Patreon, I'll build my own.
Right.
I'll do everything within house. And it's like, well, he did it. It's like he did it. And so I think the biggest for me, what I'm seeing is like the fear of more people rising up and finding their inspiration and motivation to produce content, because right now, as we all both agree, whatever they're pumping out of anywhere from comic books to books to even educational books is a lot of trash.
Yeah,
And
trash.
it's just if trash is a nice word for it.
True. It's
Out
not
there.
good.
But how did you, so what was like the very beginning? Like how did the corporation start? Like, well, and I see super chats, I'm gonna get to them in just a second. But like what was your thought process? Like,
I mean, like I said, I wanted to, of course, maintain my ownership and everything. So there was a lot of foundational work that got done before, obviously, anybody saw anything from it. When I made the decision, I'd already pondered on what this was going to look like, right? And then I had to hold my feet to the fire and I did this purposely, and that was announced that it was a thing that I was working on. So now it's public, right? Now it's like people are going to ask about it. I know it, so I have to follow through. And the first steps were, I had lawyers that I was already working with my guys, with like my personal business, with everything, commentary and everything that I do. And I was like, all right, well, let's take care of this from the ground up. I want you guys involved. Where do we need to start to make sure that we are taking advantage of everything that we can? Because there's going to be a lot of money flowing, coming in, going, and all of that. I want to make sure we're set up, ready to go. Tax purposes, we're able to take advantage of everything it is that we can. So there was a lot of spent a lot, tens of thousands of dollars just on lawyer fees. You know what I mean? Just having my firm just get to work. And while they're doing that, we had to build the Rippaverse website. So I had my two website teams. I gave them, hey, this is what we're going to do. Let's start talking about the technology and everything that it is that we're going to make happen. And all of that, once they kind of do it their thing, and then the creative process of actually creating, I built my universe Bible, and I'm building all these characters out before I ever told the story. And I'm building them out like it's so detailed, because I'm looking at it like, if I start now, and this really was my thought process with everything. It's like, if I do the right thing right now, then going into the future, I won't run into these problems like, hey, I don't have that taken care of or something. So we started the Universe Bible, wrote all these characters out. Me and my concept artist started designing some of them.
and how long ago was that?
That was the year that I had started. So this is going into 2020, like probably late 2020, going into 2021. 2021, yeah. And then 2021, most of the work was done. Like we were so
you're doing the world building,
all that. We're Universe Bible, the world building, and then I finally started writing, right? The actual story. And of course, there's a character or two that was a later entry as I was writing the story, but most of it were the ideas were already there, because I was developing these stories, developing these characters. And then it was I don't remember what the date is. Someone will be able to find it if they looked at the tweets and all that I sent out when I finally announced that, hey, I'm in the business of looking for artists.
Yeah.
Right. For this work, for the interiors. And I sent a couple call outs publicly, because I wanted to reach out to my community first, and people that were on this little corner of the internet. Unfortunately, we weren't the luckiest. A lot of entries that we got were fluff. It wasn't really anything that was going to be, what we needed, what we were looking for. And then, finally got to link up with Cliff Richards. And Gabe happened to be, because Cliff was on the project first, And then Gabe happened to be leaving that Superman stuff at the same time, right? And Ethan Van Sciver got me in contact with him, and I was like, all right, well, I got this project that I'm working on. I'd love to have you on. And yeah, the story was wrote. They started doing their jobs. We had a little tandem going on. Of course, got my man Eric Weathers to do the letters. And yeah, and it was a very professional like process. There were really no in that the art part of it. There was not many hiccups. There weren't that many hiccups in that. I mean, we had all the issues that we had and the bumps in the road were all like business or logistic like stuff that we had to kind of worry about. You know, this got fluffed up, had to get it, you know, looking at the print and all that. Like all of that was, which is issues that you're going to deal with anytime you're dealing with a publication. But the actual like art part was the most easiest part of this whole entire venture.
But did you already have a concept sketched out for Isom and the other characters, or did you say this is kind of what I wanted to look like, and people were giving you a bunch of different designs? Or
he's the one that I pretty much designed him in its entirety, like myself, but I suck at like drawing. So my concept artist, Marcos came in and he did what he needed to do to make it presentable to like Cliff and any other artist that would dare to the cover artist for that matter to be able to do it. And he did that. But I designed him. I had an idea. I was like, all right, I want his suit to look like this. And I literally, I did that myself. And the concept artist made it come to life. He was a little more involved, and people learned some of this stuff in our concept art book that we sell. You learn some of like the inside information on like what the process was with each of those characters that we created that got introduced, that are going to be mainstays, or at least sticking around with the Rippaverse. And all that stuff was my concept artist is amazing, man. He's phenomenal. There were some that were developed and I gave the brief idea and he kind of led the way. I gave him a little more creative freedom, but Isom was for sure the one that I was like, I want him to look exactly like this. And we made it happen. So because he's so talented, exactly what I was thinking, he was able to make it come to life. Yeah.
When I wrote my story is a collection of six books. And I wrote the first one and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not an author, so I need help. So it's like people don't realize it's like I need to find a creative author editor. So I spent a lot of money. I found one that I really loved, and he was phenomenal. He basically took my mess and was like, all right, I'm going to rewrite it. Here you go. Is this what you're looking for? I'm like, yes, this is perfect. So I have been blessed to have him on my team, and I haven't even launched anything yet. And then the same thing with my artist. She's out in Hawaii, and she was doing all the artwork, kind of got all that done. But yeah, so much little parts, but you start with an idea, and it's like, let me take my first step. Just a few super chats. Hooligan for $10 says Neil before Isom. Yeah, no, I don't think that's in the book. I don't think he stole that from Superman 2.
No, that's not in there.
I don't even know where people got that. Jake the Movie Geek for 10. It says, Eric, once things start rolling, how many comics are you aiming to release a year? I spent hundreds of dollars on this first campaign. I'm excited for the future of this company. #parallel economy.
To answer that question, it's hard to say. I would love to work towards getting to where maybe a monthly release or something, but realistically, initially, we can't do that. But the next campaign will for sure be announced by the end of the year, and launch. That's the goal. We plan to announce 2 projects in addition to that. But I'm already working on Isom 2, so that'll be probably the next project. Who knows? But we will. The goal is you'll get it. I can promise you at least 5 like books, and you got to remember these are massive. Like these aren't just like it's a 96 pager, and I plan to all of my books to be that meaty. All right, I think that's very important, and I like that format. So you're gonna get a lot of story in one. So to put that in perspective, that's like 5 issues of a standard Marvel or DC comic in a 96 to 100 pages. So yeah, that's kind of
Well, they'll
the way
complain
to look
about
at
that. Too many pages.
Yeah. Oh, we already did. We already had one of the reply guys that we had on for debate. He was like, why not just put 20 pages out? I was like, because I don't want to.
Yeah, it's like, what? We can't take you serious. Like my man Jolly Roger here for 10. What's up, Jolly Roger? Hey, Drunk 3PO, thinking about starting a channel. Hi 2D2. Go for it, bro. Go for it. You have my blessing. Hey, Rip, a fun fact for you. Feige means coward in German. Kevin isn't courageous, man. Go figure. Talking about Kevin Feige.
Oh,
Totally
Kevin
off
Feige.
topic, but thank you, Jolly Roger. And before we continue, we're going to take a commercial break from our sponsor. That's right. You wonderful people. And you, Rippa, get to see my very first sponsor for the podcast. So sit back and relax. And then we've got some serious questions for Mr. Eric July.
You know, running a podcast and being an active member on social media, you get called a lot of things. But you know what? All that changes today, because now you must refer to me as Lord J. That's right. I got the proclamation. I got the paperwork done right here. There's nothing you could do about it. I am now officially a Lord. And you might be saying to yourself, Jay, I need that in my life. What can I do to be called a lord or lady? Well, established titles can do just that. And guess what? Right now, they're running a massive sale. And if you use my code, DRUNK3PO, that's right, I got my own code. You get an additional 10% off. Just go to the link in the top of the description. And if you're just listening on the podcast, that's establishedtitles.com/drunk3po. Put my code in, save some money, and this is what you get. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland, with an official certificate with a crest. Your certificate features a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, 1 tree planted and trees for the future. It even makes a great last-minute gift for your loved one and for those that need a little more respect online. That's right. I am now Lord J. Established Titles also told me that the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link effectively will be next to my plot. We'll be neighbors. We'll be within walking distance. And depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little Drunk 3PO community. How about that? Our little kingdom. We could all be lords and ladies together. So if you're looking for that last minute gift, don't forget to click on the link, establishedtitles.com/drunk3po. Use my code and save 10%. And you too can become a lord or lady today.
There it is.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
There it is. The link is in the description. There it is. Well, the chat is just roasting me, but that's all good. I love it.
I like it.
Love it.
I like it.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, back to business. So now that you put everything together, you talk to your lawyers, you got your artists, you got everything together. The website is ready to go. And thank you, Chris, for dropping the link in the chat. You hit the launch button. And now you're just kind of like, well, everyone, here we go. Now, the thing that made you different from most people is that you already spent the money on the top end.
Yeah.
So if you hit the launch button and you sell 5 comics, you're not in debt or anything. Well, at least from what we could tell.
Right. Yeah, I didn't spend it's my money. So I just would have lost it. Yeah.
And then that would have been that. You said, well, I gave it my best shot and off we go. But see, that's the thing. The what these people out there don't realize is that the comic book industry has gotten so bad that they didn't think anyone like you or anyone else, any other independent creator could be a threat.
True.
So it's just kind of like, and now that they see it, they want this threat gone. Do you really see yourself as a threat to the
I mean,
industry,
it
like they
is.
portray it, or is
It
it just
is.
like, I'm just doing my thing, man?
Like,
Like,
I didn't
just let me
seek.
live.
I didn't seek to do it just to simply threaten them, but do they consider it a threat? Absolutely. No matter if the ones that, because this is why you only get one of two reactions. You either get the hit pieces from these weirdos, or you get the complete just, hey, I'm just going to pretend like it's not a thing, despite them actually knowing, like with CBR, we know their writers know it's a thing. They stay away from it for a specific reason. So what it is, I think it's more of the idea of what it is as opposed to it just being directly me. It's more of, well, this is an example of some person, definitely people that they despise, actually going out there and doing something and giving it a shot and seeing the following that it had. And again, some of them can't do it, and it's a threat to their model more than anything, because if that catches on, well, what reason do people have to go through them for their entertainment? We talk about the parallel economy all the time, and that's really what it is. It's about people being able to do their own thing, no matter what has unorthodox as it might be, and it being separated from what they do. And a lot of their power has been based on this perception that they are the legitimate ones, and they are the ones that people must go through in order for this to exist, right? In order for this comic book to exist, you have to go through this channel if you want to have it be comparable. That simply isn't true. And that's what this showed, that it simply wasn't true. And I think that more is the threat than anything. It's not about me individually or even the company individually as much as it is about what it stands for and how it did what it did.
All right. So, I mean, you don't have to talk about this, but how many people from the industry or whatever, since they've seen the $3 million, has been like, hey, buddy, you need another artist? Like, yeah, like, I'm gonna send you my work. Like, hey, can the Rippaverse, can you branch out and like add this story to you, to like a whole nother? Have people just said, hey, can I just jump on board, for what
There
you
have
do? I'm
been
sure there's been
people.
a lot though,
Yeah,
right?
there have been people, of course, that have pitched their ideas, sent portfolios and stuff of them that are part of the industry. I want to be, clear about it. While we do know that there's a lot of hatred, we just talked about the idiot Mark Brooks. There's been a lot of people that have also been in the industry that have been publicly supportive of what it is that we do. Kevin Grievous being one of the more notable ones. He's the one that's the creator of Blue Marvel, for you guys that know who that is, of Marvel Comics. He gave me props. Me and him are friends. We talk like, not publicly all the time. And these guys have been supportive of me. Whether they'll admit it or not, it's job security for a lot of them. And so the ones that are like angry at it are more looking at it like, well, hold on, this guy can't be, if he threatens my model, I'm going to be out of a job. But there's ones that know that there's a fundamental issue and they've commended our efforts for doing it. And there's been plenty of guys that have reached out that have been like, look, I want in. We'll have some announcements with some to see that are part of some future Rippaverse stuff that I think a lot of people are going to be stoked for.
Is that the overall, like, if you could say, the overall goal is to have the Rippaverse is it Rippaverse Comics Incorporated, or is it just,
well, it's
like,
got Rippaverse Publishing, which is the publishing house.
Okay,
Yeah, with the publishing house.
Is it you think it will get to that point where you would like to sign other entities, even though their book might not be a part of ISOM's world, but it's their own world, but they're just under your umbrella?
See, that's the hard one, though, because I get a lot of people that reach out to me about like that, and I never wanted to be like a publishing house for like everybody else's stuff. The whole idea is to build this universe with every book that we put out is going to be, doesn't mean every character is going to know each other, but it's the whole idea is that it's in this universe, so it's in this there's always the idea that they may cross paths, but not all the time will they. So I know that people look at it like, hey, could I publish? But I'm not interested. I mean, you got people that already do that right now, like Image does that, for example, or they'll publish other people's stuff. And I don't know if that's on the cards in the future, maybe, you know, starting a separate entity that kind of does that where I'll publish other people's stuff. But really what we're trying to do is build a universe. So everybody that we bring on, the whole intention there is like, hey, we're writing Rippaverse stuff to try to develop and hash out this universe.
Before we continue, the person that made you is
Yeah.
here, D-Day Cobra. He gave me $1, which is probably about 20 cents. So appreciate the love. Appreciate you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have Eric July, man. So thank you, D-Day Cobra, for all your hard work of doing nothing, basically. And for those that are listening and you don't know, it's just an inside joke. So it's nothing. This is just an inside joke. More than anything.
Shout out to Jeremy, man.
Yeah, nobody really made Eric July. He's a self-made man, and that's a proud thing to say, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think so. I've been here forever. I mean, definitely on YouTube and stuff. So it wasn't something that started yesterday. And see, it's idiots.
He says $20. It says, "Hey, Rippa, I'm a big fan." Yeah, stay away from that guy. He's I don't know what kind of pops he's got. Not saying it's monkeypox, but he might have something. So we have to
gotta watch it. Gotta watch it.
Have to be careful. Thank you, Jeremy, for stopping by always. And I know I have other super chats to get to. This is from Mike Has Bad Knees for 5. He says, Eric and Jay play 1-on-1 to 21. What's the final score? All right, hold on. All right, let me begin. Let me start. If me and young Ripper play basketball, I already know I'm older and slower. All right. I've already met him a few times. I've seen his athleticism. You know, you could tell he always wears tank tops and basketball shorts. All right. I'm a little soft around the waist. Okay. Life's been good. I've been eating a little more buffets recently because I've been traveling. This is the only way we'd have to play make it, take it, 1s and 2s. Okay. And I got to get the ball first and I got to make the first shot. Like if I brick and he gets 3, you know, and it's over. It's over before it begins. But if he fears me and I could just hit those couple of those threes right off the bat where I get like 6 points, you know, I'll be okay losing 21-6 or 8. Like I'll be okay because I could say at least I got a bucket. That's the only way this will work. But that's what I think. So I got to get the ball first and I got to hit that first shot. If I miss it and he gets the rebound, it's all over. Oh, he's got an alarm going off.
No, that was supposed to, believe it or not, that was for this interview, and it was supposed to be. I said it an hour late, so thankfully I was already moving around.
Oh, that's good.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, but
I would have been an hour late.
But you hurt yourself playing basketball this year, didn't you?
Was it this year? Or was it the year before? Yeah, I did though. I was out for a while. I had
That's the other thing. I need him to be injured.
Yeah.
All right. I need it to be like,
happen.
Well, he lives in Texas, so the heat's not going to bother him. So
that did happen. What injury? What? Oh, it was my hip. This was what it was. It was a muscle injury. I don't know if it wasn't quite. It was. I guess it was my groin, but I ended up getting that when I got that injection. I was fine. So yeah, I've been moving around. I'm good now.
He's taking steroids. Boxing. I can't beat it, man.
No, it's not a steroid.
Just a joke, everyone. Just a joke, everyone. Please.
It's one of those.
That rumor will go on Twitter.
It might technically be a steroid. It's one of those. You know, it's like
cortisone shot.
It's like it's like for. I don't know. Athletes basically take it when they're injured and then they want to still play and they all fucking get the shit. And that's what I got. Right. That shit suck. Cause you know, it's basically a surgery effectively. So they go in and they do whatever. And it's just fucking long ass goddamn shit. They're like, warning you, like, this is going to fucking, they don't even lie to you. They're like, this is going to fucking hurt. And it hurt like hell, but I was good after that. Like I was fine. I was back to kickboxing and everything. It was good.
See, that's the thing. So that's how that one-on-one will go. Now, I will say this. If it's 2-on-2 and Eric's got a bad teammate, I got a shot. That's my only shot. Other than that, I'm just too slow. Like there's just dynamics, man. I'm just too slow. That's just how it is. How some people were born faster than others. True. I'm just a big guy underneath. I'm big. He knows it. I'm big and tall. Can put my hands up, but the speed, man, speed is a pretty big factor. So thank you for your question. to embarrass me. Drunk 3PO's too old cat for 5. What a name. Gosh. Open the door for Mark Brooks. Yeah. If you don't know what that means, I made a comment a long time ago where I said, if you have an old cat, sometimes you just open the door and they crawl out and die. So now they never leave me alone with that statement. But thank you for the super chat. Wicked Virtue is here with a $5 super sticker. Thank you. And Gabriel for 2 says, I'll beat you both because I will use all 6 fouls. Now, I've seen you, Gabriel. You kind of soft like me,
Both of y'all are taller than me, so yeah.
That's the thing. So
you got me on the height.
But sometimes I don't mean nothing. Basically, I just stand there and you just dribble around because you're so fast. Yeah, it's just like, well, I hope for the best. John Orsted for 20. Gosh, you guys are being very generous. Thank you. I opened a spring store because of Jay. I'm working on my brand because of Eric. You guys are costing me a lot of money. So I thank you for that. Invest in yourself and believe in yourself. Thanks to the both of you. Eric, you got a message for someone out there that's just thinking about it?
Dude,
thinking about starting anything.
If you know you got the talent, you know what I mean? You got to be real with yourself first and foremost. But if you got an idea and you know you got the talent, it doesn't hurt. Don't kill yourself as far as an investment. But if you got the money to spend and you got the idea and it's something that you actually believe in, it won't hurt to try. You know what I mean? Like definitely in this day and age where people are so itching for something different. They're tired of kind of like the mega corporation, typical kind of way product is put out. So you may miss your window in terms of when people are willing to have eyes on an alternative product. So this is the best time to do it right now. So if you can do it, why not? Not everybody's going to see the most success, but you don't want to be what you don't want to be, because this will hurt. What you don't want to be is the guy that, missed his window. And now he's having to think about that for the rest of his life. Like, man, I should have did this. I should have did that during this time, but I was too chicken to do it. So you don't want to be that guy. That's going to feel a lot worse than failure.
That's true. Some of your haters have showed up in the stream. Thank you for that. They're complaining that you're selling shirts and posters and other merch. Thank you, King, for showing up. Nice avatar. Cute little dragon. $2 super chat. What NBA player would you compare your game to?
That's
me, the guy that sits on left bench. That's probably like the I played in community college, believe it or not, and I just shot the 3 ball. But basically the coach was like, if we put you in, Jay, you go to the far left corner, and if they pass you the ball, you shoot it. That's all. I'm a tall guy, but man, when you're in like college, those guys are like,
everybody's
I'm
tall.
The small one. I'm just like,
you're a guard. You're a guard height, Jay.
I'm just telling you. So that I just waited. They put me in like the last few minutes. I waited. Every now and then I got a shot. That's about it. So, but I love the game. I freaking love the game. Who would you say? Who would you say your game?
Me?
Yeah.
That's hard to say. I would say, I don't know if you guys remember Baron Davis.
Yeah, I love Baron Davis.
That's more of what it is, like a guy that was a stronger guard that could, he can get you inside, outside. That's kind of more so where I'm at, if anybody, because I'm athletic. That's my strength. So, but I'm strong. You know what I mean? So it's not like I can go to the rack. I could go outside, whatever works.
Baron Davis had like the greatest, like in the playoffs, he like dunked and tried to lift his shirt.
That was
up. And he got it all.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the greatest. That was one of the greatest plays. That was one of the greatest, plays ever.
Yeah.
That's the thing. While we're getting close on time, but the one thing that I've always learned from you was, even though people wanted to start something, do it the very best that you can. I remember you would hear people on YouTube it's so funny. And you can correct me if I was wrong in saying this, but I would hear people on YouTube like, oh, you want to start a channel? You just start it with whatever. And then you come along, you're like, nah, man. Like, if you can invest in a good mic, invest in a good mic. If you can get a good camera, and like you could see, like, I know my progression over the year. It's like I went from webcam, to laptop, to like I got 2 screens now.
Yeah.
I got a nice mic. It's just like it's important to invest in yourself, because it's it just makes people think that you're taking it seriously, is what you were always saying. And correct me if I said that
No,
wrong.
that was accurate. That was exactly what it was. I know some people are like, just do it, no matter what it is that you have. And I don't quite agree with that approach, mainly because of what you just said. Presentation is huge. And I would look at even something like the Rippaverse. The reason why a lot of people are taking it serious is because I took it seriously. Right, when I invested all this money, and it shows, in the trailers that we put out, and the product, and how good it's being presented, and well presented that it is. And that's part of it. People want to feel like they are giving their money to something that is comparable, not like as a charity. So that was a huge part of just anything it is that I did. And obviously, me being on YouTube as long as I had been, I've feel like I understand the game, and that's a big part of it. Like, every algorithm is the algorithm, and every so often you're going to get blessed by it. So the key is that when you're getting favorable placement and new people are coming to your content, you have to keep them around. You know what I mean? And in order to do that, your presentation has to be nice. So if you can at all it doesn't matter what kind of material it is that you're doing, make it be the best to your financial ability. I'm not saying to go put yourself in debt for the sake of the best thing, but it's important that you do invest in yourself, because the presentation is huge, and you'd be surprised how many people would want to follow you based just on that.
Yeah, see, that's what I think. Hearing the last time we spoke, you had mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I remember that I was like, I got to apply this to my book, because it was scheduled to be released earlier this year. And I just wasn't like, I was like, yeah, I guess it's good enough. And then it's like, don't ever say that.
Yeah.
Is it the best you could possibly put out? If you took an extra 6 months and just tweaked it to make it better, if you took an extra 8 months and tweaked it, you would be much happier. Much happier if you did that than just saying, well, I kind of, I put out whatever I had. And I think that goes for, everything, like you said, everything in life, because people know that you're trying to be professional about it. And not just kind of slop things together, because I think at the end of the day, if you put together a comic book that was sloppy, and the packaging was sloppy, and everything was sloppy, then your return customer rate will be
low.
It'll be like,
if at all. Like, that's all part of it. Even the people that you want to talk about, people giving me crap. There was even the fact that, it's basically a trade paperback. Why is he bagging and boarding it? I'm like, well, because I want you to get it in good shape, and I want it to you get this and you see this and how legitimate that it looks. It looks like something you spent your hard-earned money on, and it was worth it. You know what I mean? That's why I did it. So yeah, some people just
you can't open it for us.
No. But definitely, for you guys that invested in it, you invested in it. This will be yours for a price. So yeah. Well, you can't even get this anymore. If you got it, you got it. A couple of A's. That's sold out.
I got a signed one, whatever one you're signing. That's and I got a hat and I got a shirt. And for all those people saying he shouldn't have put a hat out, I was like, no, I'm glad.
Yeah. I'm still wearing yours.
I know. So like, we're gonna trade off. So I'm gonna, when I go to the theme parks and stuff, I'll be having that Rippaverse hat on and a shirt. Yeah. So we trade. I mean, you've worn that hat on the Blaze and all these other places. Man. So I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. Actually, I had a meeting with 9line this morning, and it was funny. They had mentioned you. They were just like, who's that guy that's always wearing your hat? Like, I see him everywhere. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I said, I need to start paying him at this point. So it's like probably my best advertising.
Oh man.
I don't see Jeremy wearing the hat, but he's got to wear his old crushed up, ugly looking. It's got to look dirty and oily. That's the kind of hat he likes. So however that works, that's
yeah. He should be wearing your stuff more than me. He should, but he doesn't.
Like, have you had a moment to just be like, wow?
Not really, to be honest.
Nah, I didn't think so.
Honestly, no. Like,
I mean, look how dirty the hat is. That's like warehouse work.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, man. Like, this is warehouse dust, bro. Like, this is like for real. Like, I'm in that bad boy. We are working, man. At no point, I'd never had, and people, obviously well intended. They reach out and they say, "Hey, man, just chill out, man. You did good." And I'm like, ain't no time to do that. I got books I got to get put out, bro. There's no time. We'll worry about that later. There is work to be done because it's not just a regular release. It's the fact that we released and the business scaled up basically like that. So we got a lot catching up to do. Despite us putting this out, we got a lot of catching up to do. So there's work to be done. Simple and plain. Work to be done.
There's got to be there wasn't when you hit the first million, was it just didn't even take a breath to be like,
no, I was
dang.
thankful, obviously.
Yeah, obviously you were you have
huge,
been more thankful than I think anybody I've ever seen. Every second you get, you have been thanking people. But I mean, you're seeing already before the book is even released, people dressing up as your characters at Comic Cons. People are making cartoons.
That's crazy
with your characters. Like we see it on Twitter. Yeah. And it's not crap. It's it's cool looking.
Yeah, these guys.
So you have all that. You have people redoing the designs, cosplay, everything. Like the book isn't even out yet.
I know, that's the crazy thing.
You know, and it's just kind of like when do you say cheers, man? And just
I don't know, man. It's
some people light a cigar,
Yeah,
some people pop the champagne.
And that's a good point, because I've seen this in music, right? And I don't want to make that mistake where I see people get we see this with metalcore bands all the time, man. They get a little hot song and then they think they just gonna ride off into the sunset. And I'm the complete opposite. I know we struck gold. I'm like, oh well, we struck gold. So where's the rest of it? You know what I mean? Yeah. We gotta keep mining. So that's the way that I look at it. And that, okay, we caught lightning in a bottle. We got to make use of this. And so I am just taking every bit of opportunity I can. So I already started writing Ice Some too. There's no kickback. We're going to take some months up. Nah, bro. We have to, because I'm not going to get, who knows if I'm going to have this opportunity ever again. So it's again, when you do have someone my wife being as supportive as she is, and with her basically being here all the time, it makes it easier, because and the fact that I love what it is that I'm doing, it's a lot easier to work that way. So oftentimes, even if it's tedious, it doesn't feel like I'm doing work. It's like I'm just doing what I do. So it makes it a lot easier to just keep grinding. Every day, there's no days off for me. Every day I'm doing something pertaining to the Rippaverse, Monday to Sunday. And it's I'm in a blessed position. So I'm going to sure enough take advantage of it.
I mean, it's every day you probably get an email saying, hey, they want you on this channel, and they want you on this channel. And again, that's why I told you before, I was I'm grateful. I know we're friends and all, but still,
well, I mean, it's still important to do those. I mean, definitely with you guys, because I'm not oblivious to the fact that this corner of the internet is very valuable, you know what I mean, in terms of the success it is that we've had. You know what I mean? Those guys rallying behind us has been huge. And it's not one of those things where I think I would just ever stop doing. Everybody, of course, gets preference. So if Neurotic is hey man, can you do Friday Night Tights? I'm yeah, we'll slide. We'll make sure it happens. So anybody else in our corner that had been there from the jump, then I want to make sure that I'm able to do that. So yeah, people are gonna hit me up. I can't do everyone, I can't do every single one, but I want to make sure that the folks that have been very important to just really what it is that we're doing, man, to be able to show them love is huge.
Any update on PayPal?
Nah, we did send them some stuff. Lawyer's still kind of cooking right now, and once they get it cooked, we'll see what happens. But they're scheduled to start releasing payments this month. According to their own reserve policy, they'll start releasing that shit.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I know, right? It's fucking.
So it's $1 million plus.
Yeah, almost 1.3 million.
And then you're most people that have a PayPal, when there's money in there, you just hit transfer.
Yeah.
And off it goes. And they were nope, not today, buddy.
Yeah.
And you're transfer my money over. And they just said no. And then they say they're just going to release just little chunks at a time.
Yeah, at a time, but starting on I think the 28th of this month or something like that. So this is why I said there's a lot of weirdos who are well, once you send it, they'll give it. Oh, they won't. They've already said they won't. They're saying that doesn't matter if I send every single item that was purchased via PayPal, I'm still not getting the money until the reserve is up, and that the reserve starts again late this month. So, we cut them off. We're not using PayPal ever again. For sure, we cut them off, and you can't purchase stuff with it. We'll still, of course, honor every PayPal payment, and we're gonna make sure we get those items out to you guys. But we're not ever using them again. We're done.
The funny thing is, you've said that a million times. We're gonna honor everyone who paid with PayPal, and yet they still say, "I pay." The PayPal people aren't getting their.
Yeah, people still lying about that. I was like, dude, no, I've said this.
It's on
opposite.
every platform, and even emails were saying,
Yep.
I got the email.
Yeah, so
it's like even the
Yep.
emails came out, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna honor if you pay through PayPal. I don't know if I did. I'm not sure if I did through PayPal, but yeah. Real quick, John Orchard for 10. Success does not come by accident. Pizza for the kids. Yeah, thank you. Actually, for those just wanted a quick update this weekend, because of people's super chats, and we took a percentage of the money, and we started a project for children in Mexico, special needs kids in Mexico. They just started the house project today. A lot of people from the Drunk 3PO channel and through Geeks and Gamers helped build a home in El Salvador for orphans that didn't have a place to live. So now we're doing it in New Mexico. So it's pretty awesome. So thank you guys. Thank you, John. Mike has bad knees. Says let Eric know that DMX died.
So silly. Man.
Well, you'll never live that stuff down. Will you?
That's gonna follow me along for the upcoming.
I got caught by Sean Connery. I was like, Sean Connery died? He had already died like a while ago. And then it happened to you, and everybody forgot that I messed up the Sean Connery one. Oracle of Doom for 12.22. My first super chat on your channel. Hail Drunk 3PO. Love your stuff, bro. Long live the Rippaverse. Can't wait to get my signed copy of Isom Cover C.
Nice. So, appreciate that,
homie. Then we got a $10. Says nothing, but we'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. Ords for 5 says sub fam. Rippa, keep killing the game. Your proof anything is possible with hard work. Keep it real. Much love, Jay. Let's go Rippaverse. Man, look at all the love. It's just like nonstop. And Mr. Tickle Trunk for $3 super sticker says, my hero. My hero. My hero. I mean, does it ever get old, man? Like, look at your face. You're beaming already. Like, you see that. Like, I'm getting the super chat love, which I appreciate, but the love is coming towards you. And it's just like,
it's appreciative, man. Like, this is something that I love the fact that, I have a direct line of sight with my customers. I'm not some executive that's sitting stuck in some fucking corner of some headquarters office on the 30th floor, like that don't really know who the hell is buying anything. They just see the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's not like that with us. I see everything. And, I'm because of me being in the commentary space or whatever, I get a direct line of sight with my audience. And, that's awesome. I'm in a good position to be able to do that. It's a constant reminder that this is a real thing and people are really stoked about what it is that we're doing. And we have to keep giving it.
But do you feel the full grasp of how many people are standing behind you, bro, and don't want you to fail? Like, it is a lot of us. Like, it is a lot of us, because even when you're not even around, like, I know when I do my other live streams and even things on Twitter, people like hashtag Hail Rippaverse. Can you believe what he's doing? People would come into even my, playing video games. People would come in the chat and they're like, Rippa just hit 3.5, and everybody in the chat would be like, go, you're not even there to see it. And so the love is just like, everywhere. And it's just like, it's such a cool thing for me. It's such a cool thing to see.
It's awesome for me to see. I mean, for real, like, it just goes to show. And I think that's what it is. I know me and, Jeremy's talked about how tangible this is, like how it puts what we do, everybody in our little pocket of the internet, what we do, it really resonates and it matters. It's not just I know that the access media and these talking heads, they like to think that what it is that we do it's not impactful. We're just a bunch of guys that just gripe about stuff and nobody cares what we think. And what this shows is that it's a lot of us, and they do actually care what it is that we think. And I just can't wait, to give you guys material. And I guess that's what means the most to me, is that I know a lot of folks are just fed up with what's going on with a lot of entertainment. And for me to kind of be able to give them something to look forward to in definitely about comics, because that's what it's about. Look forward to it is awesome, man. It's just
how about the pressure?
I don't feel that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I was an athlete, all through college. Like, this ain't like for me to have to be in, but definitely with me being a track and field athlete, where it's an individual sport, where it's like, you lining up to the line and you got all these folks next to you. You came in, you were the hot commodity, you know what I mean? And you had ran a fast time, and now it's time for you to put up again because you got to update your resume every week. That was what I lived for. So pressure isn't really what it is that I feel. Of course, I want to live up to the expectation. We know that we're going to have to do that in order for us to continue to have success, but it's not anything I'm worried about because I surrounded myself with awesome people. I'm confident in my own work, but I surrounded myself with awesome people as well. With us having Gabe El-Taib and Cliff Richards, like, these are veterans. They tell me if it sucked, you know what I mean? For sure. They would have told me if it was no good. But those guys are as stoked for this project as I am, and that let me know that we have something special going on. So I know there's a lot riding on it, but I'm not worried about it at all because I know we got a good project going on.
I think that is one of the biggest things that people don't realize, and is surrounding yourself with good people.
That's important.
You got to surround yourself. I tell this story all the time. And again, I'm respecting your time, but it's such a powerful, for me, it was such a, it's something that I live with, and I've told it a million times, but there was a story, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus tells this story, and it's about a gardener and a guy that owns a garden. And the guy that owns the rich man that owned the garden went out, and he saw this fig tree that was dying. And he tells the gardener, he goes, "Hey, cut it down and get rid of it because it's useless to me right now. It's useless." And the gardener says, give me a second here. Let me dig out everything that's around it and refill it with good soil and watch it grow in a year. And it just was so impactful to me that sometimes we have to dig negative, like, people that are holding us back. And it's not easy. If you've ever dug dirt around a tree to put new soil and stuff on it, it's not easy. And getting people out of your life that's been there, I mean, listen, man, there's people out there that are dream snatchers.
Oh yeah.
And even people in your family that are just telling you,
be the main ones.
You'll never get there. Like, stop. Yeah, go out there and get your own, it's like all that stuff, like, go out there and do all that. And it's like you got to dig those people out of your life. And then replace them with people that will tell you, "Hey, you're doing good there. That sucks, but I'm telling you that in love. Like we're gonna do this thing." You can't surround yourself with yes people. You gotta surround yourself with people that will clap for you when you succeed, and that will lift you up, and also tell you, "Hey, that ain't the right thing, man."
Right.
It's like important. That you ain't doing the right thing.
It's important.
So
you have to. It's impossible if you don't. Definitely, if you're taking on a project that is ambitious, you have to have people that are around you, and that's even in your love life. Like, with my wife being as supportive as she is, I don't know if some of this stuff happens without her. You've seen the video. She out there bagging the books while I'm signing them, like, and all that stuff. She's been 100% behind me with everything it is that I've ever done, for that matter, let alone this comic book project. So it's like, that's important. You know what I mean? It makes it easy. You can kind of, again, it's the division of labor as well. If you have good people, and I know that firsthand with me having the rock stars that I have for Rippaverse publishing, like our company, like on the back end, which are people that have already been a part of my community. You know what I mean? Like, and having those guys around that work their tails off, like, this is important. Like, you can't be successful without surrounding yourself with great people.
That is the key. Let me knock out the rest of these super chats, and then we'll get some closing comments. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Jay Lee for 5 says, "Eric, keep Gabe out of trouble. He is coloring my book as well."
All right, I'll try.
So You try to do that. Jay acts like he's not my friend. He's my friend. I'm only a friend on Mondays, Wednesday. Oh, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Or so not today. So that's how that goes. Thank you for the $20, man. Thank you. Hail Jay and Eric. Thank you for the positive influence y'all have been for us in the fellowship. Are you enjoying the C3PO mug I gave you at Anime Matsuri? Yeah, actually, it's still in the box. So I'm waiting for it to display. So I really appreciate it. It's really cool. Eric, I plan on buying more copies of ISOM, not through PayPal soon. Well, how much time do they have left?
It's like 24 days or something like that. It's less than a month. It is less than a month for you to get in.
Less than a month. And I've got mods in the chat. I see some of my wrenches. If you guys don't mind, like dropping the link to the campaign, I'll do the first one so you can have the link there, and all his hats and everything else is on
all
there.
Kinds of stuff. Shirts got in. The first batch of shirts got in this week, and they're being
so the one sad hater that's been like the whole time, buy more books just to make him mad. It'd be great. Mr. Tickle Trunk for 2 says, seen the Rippaverse mentioned in non-fellowship chats. It's everywhere. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, they know it exists.
Yeah.
They know it exists.
That's what I was saying. Like, I had a meeting with Nine Line Apparel, and they were talking about it. And they have no idea who he is.
That's sick.
But they saw him wearing that. Oh, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And that was my thing with Nine Line. Like, I wanted to develop a shirt that was so good people would buy that didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing. So that's why we've been so successful over there, because I was like, it's not about me. It's about putting out a quality product that people will look at it and go, I like that. I'm going to get that. That's the same thing that, Eric is doing as well. It's like, could you imagine people buying it and not have no clue who you were?
Yeah.
Isn't that the goal? Apparently,
yeah,
it's
that's ultimately
like
you want it
on
autopilot. Just the people that just see it, they think it's the coolest thing, and they want to become a customer. That's what it's about.
Yeah, you have to have that. You gotta have that mentality, everyone. Evan says, much love, Lord Drunk and Rippa. Thank you. I love the Canadian Bear shirt in your avatar, brother. Appreciate it. And this guy, man, Anzac, I think I said your name right, for $2, says nothing, just like drops and goes. Johnny for 10 says, much love to the both of you. I'm so stoked for ISOM 1, and I'm stoked for Jay's book 2. Yeah, I'm hoping December, maybe. I just want to make sure it's right. It's done now. Now all the fun begins with paperwork and printing and all that stuff. That's actually more of the headache than the creative part. So it's like, maybe I should hire someone to take care of that. But man, Nick Rose for 10. Once upon a time, I got banned from CBR forums for telling Dan Slott to choke on his own body part. I'm glad I have alternatives to mainstream these days. Hail Kamigate, Rippa, and Jay. Thank you for the 10.
Appreciate it.
Well, I think when this is all said and done, and ISOM 1 will never come out. There it is, right there. I think when it's all said and done, you're looking at someone who built a company where media would not promote it. People that are in the same comic book space are trying to get it shut down, and yet it's rising to be more successful than all of that stuff put together. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Andy Madison, man, the guy that makes all the figures for all of us, man. Right, that's there. So talented. Yeah. He made one of me sleeping on the couch. It's like right back there. It's like my favorite piece when people come in. He also made one of me as Indiana Jones recently. Freaking awesome. He's just looking forward to making a proper ISOM in January 6th. Oh, look at that.
No, that's the figure
1/6 size.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, the figure size. January 6th.
I want to do that January. I was like, is there
a special January 6th book?
Special day for that? I'm just saying. But that's it, man. Any closing? Listen, Anzac just drops money and leaves. Thank you for the $20, man. Whoever you are, I appreciate it.
Guys.
I appreciate it. Any final words, man? Appreciate you taking the time out to come on the podcast.
Hey, other than thanks, man. Obviously, for you having me on and just the support that we've got. With this being a big month for us, books are going to be out this month, and we're nailing down that exact fulfillment date. We're getting all the prep work done, and man, these books are going to be going out fast, and I'm excited, man. I'm very excited.
Good, because I still have like 3 minutes left with you. You got to answer some questions, all right? You said this a long time ago, and I pulled it up. Does this still hold true today?
Much love, Junk 3PO. Yes, you a good looking man. Junk 3PO is in the chat. I appreciate you coming by at the beginning of the stream. You are too a good looking man. I give it to Drunk 3PO. He's a you can follow him as well. He's a handsome man as well.
Yeah, it still stands.
So that you were a little heavier back then.
I was way bigger than what I was like. I thought we talk about those videos all the time when I was like way buffer and stuff. I was probably like 220 back then, man. I was huge, man.
And there's one more thing he said about me. We want to know if this still holds up for today.
Tell him no. I won't. I know y'all. Actually, it was me. I don't know if y'all knew that. I was the one that told Sarah y'all was gonna be here. But I won't be there. I won't be there. Not to my knowledge. Definitely, if I'm gonna be with y'all this afternoon or this evening, so I won't be there.
All right, sounds good. Sorry to bother your live stream, sir. Please don't be mad at me. I was just doing what I was told.
All right, appreciate that.
And please read my super chats.
All right, Jay. This guy's a fucking retarded, man. It's Jay Junk 3PO. Oh, fucking stupid, man.
Oh man, that was good.
The internet is forever.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
That's my favorite clip. That's my favorite clip. And Anzac again for $2. Must be bored. Thank you for the super chat, love, brother. Thank you for the super chat. And that's the kind of family we have here.
Yeah.
So make sure you go check it out. The mods have been dropping links. It's also going to be in the description. If you're not subscribed to his channel, everything will be in the description here. You can follow us over on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts or listening to here. But thank you guys. Thank you, Eric July. Congratulations on all your success.
Appreciate you.
We will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. We hope you were inspired today. To hear more of the conversation, check out our Patreon or become a member of the channel. And don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next episode. And welcome to the Rebellion.